Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 15, episode 15. We actually pick up with Cynthia and Kenya hanging out together, and Cynthia shares that she's officially divorced. But Cynthia did throw some shade in her confessional about Kenya still not being able to finish her divorce. We see some brief footage of the women, Marlo talking to some sort of counselor about when she should introduce her man to the boys, a little bit of Shereé and her family. We also see Todd and Drew getting ready for this movie, but then the official first scene of the episode is Sanya and Aaron with little Deuce going to the doctor's office, and who do we see? None other than Dr. Jackie Walters. I love her. They do an ultrasound. She's definitely pregnant. Dr. Jackie tells her she is 5 weeks pregnant, and it is considered a geriatric pregnancy. Sanya didn't like hearing that, but that's what it's called when you're over 35. It was so cute to see how excited little Deucey was about him having a little sibling. Then we move on to the movie again that Todd is doing. It's day 4 of the shoot. Todd has the nerve to compare himself to Tyler Perry. I mean, what the hell? And he's shooting the movie in his house. I mean, what in the world? This is going to be a 2B movie. I'm convinced about that. And also, Drew was a little bit nervous for the film, this specific scene that she's doing, a girl-on-girl scene. She says that she's never done that with men. Yeah, she has done those types of scenes, so not with women. Kandi is there, so is Monyetta. And they start talking about Courtney. They're still claiming that Courtney called Drew a bitch, but the editors keep rewinding the clip multiple times, and she called that word to Sanya, and in a playful way, not to Drew. But why do they even care? I mean, for someone who they claim is not important, they sure seem to care about it. Monyetta seems to care for sure, but even Kandi acknowledges that she could have been talking about Sanya because that's what it looked like in the video. Next up, we see Shereé. She gets some party planners to come over to her house because she's planning a party. She is now a glamma and wants to have a large party like the Lion King to, formally introduce her granddaughter. I think she just wanted a party for herself. But okay, there's this. She has a big budget, y'all. She spent a lot of money, you can tell. Then we move over again to the movie being filmed, and I cannot believe that they allowed them to show these scenes on the episode. It was disgusting, degenerate scenes. They literally showed Drew's box being eaten by another woman and Drew making all sorts of noises. Like, I'm not kidding. This was some HBO content, some XXX content. I don't know why they've showed that in the episode. Todd and Kandi sure were into it, obviously. Okay, but moving along to a really nice scene, Miss Marlo Hampton. She's hosting a beautiful event for the cause of foster care. We know that she's very passionate about this. It is sad that the only ones that went were Sanya and Courtney. Shereé didn't go, which sucked because Marlo really wished that she would have made it because it's something very special to her. So in the event, they were honoring certain people who were in foster care and who are not successful. Everybody was wearing shades of blue because that's the color of the foster care ribbon. Scott Lee came over. That was nice. And then guess what, y'all? Shereé did end up making it. Marlo was so happy to see her friend come and support her. She was late because she was planning the party, but at least she made it. It was very nice. But I'm sure the haters will probably see something wrong with it. But I did see actually on Twitter, people were saying this was so important to her, why didn't she invite the whole cast? I think that sometimes when you're doing something super special and it's really meaningful to you, like with Marlo with the foster care, just invite the people you're truly friends with. Why would you want to have negative people making little shady comments? Yeah, let's block that energy. So I get why she did that. Okay, so then it's the day for Sheree's party. I gotta say, the decorations, wow, over the top. Very nice. If one thing Shereé can do, is throw a party. Sanya gets there a little bit earlier. She says that Marlo will not be able to attend. She has to go to a funeral. We then see another day of the shooting for the movie. Drew is pretty shady. She doesn't look too happy with the working conditions. She says, like, I'm using Kandi's bathroom, her bed. She says that moving forward, she will only do Lifetime or higher. I mean... And then Ralph comes to visit her. She's very happy that he's there. Drew says that she really relates to this character, like a wife who's submissive to her husband. And then Ralph says, you're a lesbian? And she says, no, not that part. I think he's just asking questions. Did you kiss the actress? Did you give her tongue? And she says, this is work. This is professional. And he says that he wants to watch the scene. And I can't tell if he's being creepy and weird and a freak, or if he's secretly bothered by the fact that she's doing it, because he was saying some weird things like, oh, so she was munching on you, did you get an orgasm? It was a very uncomfortable scene. Okay, but let's go back to the party. The other girls start to arrive. Kandi, Miss Cynthia Bailey. Kandi is talking to them about this budget movie and how Drew has had to do stuff in her bed. And then we see Bob, which we haven't seen in a while. Courtney gets there, and her and Kandi actually are getting along in the moment, so that's good to see. Shamia is there, and turns out that Shamia and Courtney know each other, and they're actually pretty good friends. That's crazy. Kandi was surprised. Monyetta's there, and then guess what happens? So Kenya arrives. She's in the parking lot or whatever, and this poor girl, whose job it is to check the list of guests, says, can I have your name? And what does Kenya say? You should already know who I am. Excuse me? Like, who are you? Like, that's very rude. She is extremely rude to her help, and we've seen that multiple times. Anyway, she also came with her friend that she keeps bringing along. Shereé and Bob seem to get along great, actually, and then Martell Holt arrives. Funny enough, he arrived right when Shereé was taking a picture with Bob. It's so awkward seeing Martell and Shereé together, I gotta say. And then something interesting happens. Drew arrives. She's in the car, and she picks up her phone and calls Kandi. She says, hey girl, I'm not coming in. There's a man here who assaulted me. Anyway, Drew feels like it's a trap by Shereé. The man apparently threw a shoe at her. And this man is that Anthony guy who, remember last season, he was like part of the drama and Shereé called him during the reunion. Yeah, that guy. So Kandi and her sidekick Monyetta go outside to go see Drew. So it seems that she was at some club. She took her shoes off, and this Anthony guy threw their shoes at her. The police were called, and she says that she doesn't feel safe, so she ends up leaving. Also, Shereé's wearing a very elegant dress. I gotta say that. It looked very nice. We see Miss Quad. We see Lisa Wu in the building. We see Apollo and his girlfriend. I mean, I think the whole city of Atlanta was in that party. Kandi then tells Shereé the situation and why Drew left. And Shereé says, you know, she's always known that she's still cool with Anthony, like she said at the reunion. And Anthony, who happened to be there, starts doing the most and yapping and screaming and jumping up and down, talking about Drew and her failed marriage and she can't pay me, she owe me money. And Kandi says, okay, but like all that aside, that's pointless. You physically assaulted her. And he says, I did not physically assault her. I threw a shoe at her because she threw her nasty purse at me. That's some messy stuff right there, I gotta say. Anyway, then Kenya has a talk with Martell. He apologizes for the way he acted at the first episode party, and he asks for an apology in return because Kenya was rude to him. And Kenya does apologize, but she says, but I never cursed at you though. And what do the editors do? Flashbacks. Flashbacks have been Kenya's enemy this season. She certainly did curse him out. Ugh, child. Okay, then Shereé has a family photo. She's there with Cairo's girlfriend, the mom of the baby, Shereé's daughters, Bob, and then Bob pulls this random woman into the picture. And all the girls are like, now who is this? And then towards the end, Shereé pulls Martell to the photo. I mean, but anyway, after the picture, the girls ask Shereé, who was that lady? And Shereé says, I got no idea. So Shereé tells Bob, introduce me to the girl. So he brings her over and says, this is my daughter. What? I mean, that's the craziest stuff right there. For 26 years, Shereé didn't know anything about this. But the girl is extremely well-mannered, and she introduces herself to Shereé and says that she's super glad to finally meet her. Then Kandi and the women pull Bob aside and say, Bob, you decided to reveal a secret child at the baby reveal? They were asking him all sorts of questions. That man did not know what to say. And then Shereé comes over again, and she says she has no idea about any of this, and says that Bob was a piece of S, and he's been a piece of S. And they take a cast photo, and that's the how the episode ended. So next week is the season finale. The show will finally be over next week. Thank God. Thank the Lord, because I cannot take no more of these episodes, you guys. Because literally, I was watching this episode and I was looking at the clock and I thought it was about to be over. I wasn't even halfway through the episode. I was like, oh my God, this really feels like it's not exciting to watch. It feels like you're dragging it along. So yeah, next week will be the season finale. And even by the promo that they showed, it doesn't even look like it's going to be exciting. I mean, we'll get that aftermath of Drew and the divorce. But then I'm hoping that the reunion trailer will be released sometime this week. There's rumors going around that the reunion might only be 2 parts. Which, if it is, that says a lot. Because for Real Housewives of Atlanta, the Atlanta Housewives, to only have 2 parts of a reunion. Again, we don't know if this is true, but this is what people have been saying. But if that's even like remotely real, they're in danger. So next season is going to be a total cast shakeup. I already know it. They can't continue to do this. The show is, the Titanic is sinking, in the words of Phaedra. But anyways, you guys, let me know, what were your thoughts about this episode? What did you think about Sheree's fabulous party? What did you think about Anthony, this messy assistant, and Drew and all of this? Let me know in the comments, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.